and welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with friends and get your gaming goodness each and every Monday. My name's Don Blight. Join me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here and excited to be living in the year of Pokemon Sleep.
Me too.
We're going to be sleeping with Pokemon, yo.
Don't say it like that. It's the you saying, going to be sleeping with Pokemon, y'all. How do you spell y'all?
Y apostrophe A-L-L.
All right, good. It was a test. All right, you passed. I'll see you, Kieran Marchant.
Hi, everyone. I'm back. I left you in these beautiful people's capable hands last week. And I thought, you know what? Dylan can just keep hosting the show. I won't, I was going to...
You missed out because I spent like half the show complaining about a game, so... Would have been a good one. If you don't want to hear me rant about...
Honestly, I can't
I just ranted about Atomic Heart for like half... When I was editing it, I was like, literally half the episode is just me complaining about that game. And I think I did that thing where I started. I was like, I'll keep this short.
Shit.
Next level, let me just complain about everything. Anyway. On the show this week, talking about Kirby, talking about Yakuza a bit more. Sorry, Like a Dragon. Sorry. No, that's what it's called. Ishin. God damn it.
What is God?
The Pokemon Direct and some article about the Olympics that Ash decided that I didn't last minute, but that's fine.
Oh, I saw this. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I don't know about this.
This is... Oh.
I don't know. I said I'll just react live.
Oh,
I saw the title, but I haven't actually...
Oh, no.
Kieran hates it, apparently. So
I do.
So for Kirby quickly, I have I've got to do the extra stuff, the epilogue stuff or whatever that's been added for. So the original game was Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which was a Wii game released in 2010 or 11 or something like that. And then this is Nintendo's usual thing that they've been doing a lot of, mostly for Wii U games, where they're like, hey, this was a game that was cool that not enough people played, and now everyone owns the Switch, so we're just going to do like a nice little remaster.
Just sell it to them again.
Just sell them to them again. Which, to me, I actually
don't
like
mind. 20% of the video game industry.
The thing is, I think it's funny, the Switch... It's like funded itself and like a lot of its longevity so far, or how good its game library is going back and plucking the shit out of all of the other consoles that other people just didn't get to, especially the Wii U. Like, it's just been like plucking stuff off the Wii U, and it's been like, here, have it on the Switch. You probably didn't buy it because you didn't have that Fisher Price piece of crap. But
well, I mean, it was the Wii, at least not the Wii U.
It was on the Wii.
Everybody had that.
Everybody had it, but at the same time,
everyone had it, but they only had it for Wii Sports, and they didn't buy any other games.
That's true.
Mario Kart, maybe. The majority of people. I mean, even my family, my parents got a free one with their TV they brought at the time. I have no idea what the cross promotion there was, but they never brought anything of it. They brought Mario.
We got so many Wiis. That was it.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't know what the go was there. So there, I had to look up. I did a whole, looked up the Wikipedia article to, Wiki Kirby. Actually, there's a website, Wiki Kirby. Kirby.
Kirby.
Wikipedia of Kirby
was that big to have its own wiki.
Kirby's massive.
Kirby is one of the most prolific franchises.
No, sorry,
and strongest Nintendo character, as proven by the Smash Bros. Franchise. He's the star of the franchise. Literally. Yeah. That's not a lie. Kirby's the star of the franchise.
You think you got him beat, and then he just floats back in. Yeah. Even though all he does is suck.
But he not in that way. Like,
he does
kicks ass, but he sucks.
He's not. I don't think he's in the top characters of either of the main Smash Bros.
I think you're wrong. I think it's. I don't think eSports super fans who are nerds appreciate Kirby. But as far as Nintendo's concerned, Nintendo is like, Kirby is the. Who's in the main trailer for all these games? Who's in the trailer for that last Smash Bros. Game? Who's the star of all those trailers? It's Kirby.
Mario?
Listen, everybody wants to see how Kirby is going to suck somebody up and then steal their look. That's an important part of the new character reveal. Kirby. We've discussed it before. He pumps out a game every single year, at least.
So, 2 last year. One was free to play, one cost money. Yes.
He did. He did. We rolled one of them, apparently.
Last year was a Game of the Year contender.
True, the Kirby last year was great. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be picking up this because a lot of people probably played last year's game. Now, the problem, and this is straight away to my main issue of the game. Game's great. However, if you played Kirby, I can't remember what it's called, Forgotten Land, which is a 3D platformer, and that was maybe what made you really like Kirby, you're coming back into this, you got a 2.5D straightforward, side-scrolling platforming game. Now, it's a really good game. However, I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, I kind of like the 3D stuff, which is fair. Anyway, I did look up some differences. So it visually looks a lot better. It's not just a HD upgrade. It's very much like they've updated some of the character art styles. They've sort of, I don't know what you would call it. Like it's like the characters all have harder lines, I guess. So they sort of pop out a bit more from the backgrounds and stuff like that. They're just sort of, it overall looks really, really good. I'm playing only in handheld, other than plugging in for all of 30 seconds and going, cool, sorry, that looks okay on my TV. I'm just going to continue playing handheld. It looks great on my OLED Switch and everything like that. But they've added in some new stuff too. So there's some enemies in here that weren't in the original game that they've added in. They've also put in some copy abilities that weren't in the game. I think I think it was like 2 or 3 copy abilities that weren't in the original game. So these are, like enemies that you suck up and then Kirby steals their powers or steals all their abilities. Plus, they've got these, I don't know what they officially call them in the game because obviously it doesn't really pop into it, but they've got these super powered up ones at times. So Kirby will suck up, say, there's like a power, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a wizard wand sort of thing that Kirby can suck up. It's like a jester hat with a wand. And there's a normal version of it where he'll wave out the wand and it's sort of like a laser beam like in front of him. So for instance, there's like a super powered version of that. And what they've changed when I looked up the old gameplay compared to what I've been playing is when you now do this super action version of it, it freezes time and has this whole attack animation that happens and it clears all the enemies on the screen and stuff. And it's just the added effect of the enemies will come flying at the screen and they'll sort of hit the glass of the Switch, imagining there's sort of that element of comic booky sort of cartoony element of knocking the enemies all around as you're flying along. So there's definitely a lot of slight differences in here, but then there's all this other new stuff, including all the minigame stuff that's been revamped for this. You've then got the festival that you can go to buy other abilities and stuff that's been revamped. And then the main thing, which is Maggalore, I think that's how it's the character's name, who I, having known nothing about this game last time we talked about it, when they had the trailer for it and they announced that Maggalore or whatever was going to have an epilogue, I was like, is this the bad guy? I don't know. Not the bad guy. In fact, is the character you're trying to help whose ship crash lands and then you're trying to help fix their ship so they can go back to their planet. So in the epilogue is where you play a different version of the game where it's you're slowly earning back his powers for him and stuff like that. So that's all brand new. So there's lots of new stuff here and then there's overall slight changes and stuff. It is a Kirby game, so it's not hard, but I don't really feel like that's ever a negative because they're meant to be sort of fun. It's just charming, The levels get slightly hard. I'm not going to say I don't die. I die because I just sort of go ham on the bosses sometimes, just be this game's so easy, I'll just stand here and then I'm like, oh shit, no. Actually, I do have to sort of dodge some attacks here because or else I will just lose all my health. So, but it's definitely not super hard, but it's, I don't know, it sounds to me to say not a kid's platformer, or a kid's introduction, because it may be a little bit too hard for them, but it's definitely that sort of young age or sort of old ages sort of thing. And all the characters are fun and most of the worlds are really good. It's even got a water world, which isn't shit, which I think any game that does a platformer where the water world doesn't suck is just a major plus, considering usually they're the biggest banes of existence. But yeah, every time throughout my time playing it and you would come across a new power or whatever for Kirby to suck up, it's always just so such a joy to see him turn into it and then discovering what little different animations he can do. So for instance, there's an umbrella one, and I realized like if you jump into the air and like spam the button that makes like Kirby stay afloat and then let go and don't touch anything, Kirby will just like start like the umbrella on front and Kirby will just start falling nicely to the ground, the umbrella. Then there was the other one, it's like a aqua power. And so like when Kirby goes under, he's got like a snorkel on and everything. But then if you come right to the surface of the water and don't touch anything to jump out of the water, suddenly like a little floaty device appears around him. Like there's all these like cute little extra animations and things built into the game that I've been having fun just seeing play out, which is quite a lot of adds enjoyment for someone like me who's easily abused, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I just got to play that another dimension thing, the Maglore level epilogue thing. I'll probably end up around an 8 or something like that, I guess, if check out my score, but that should be posted next week at some stage as soon as I get done. As long as this epilogue doesn't suck, which I don't think it is, because then I'd be like, it's a big part of the selling point. Some people may argue like it's a bit dumb to have, you do get to this whole thing of a major part of the new content, you have to beat the game first, but it's like, I guess for story reasons. So you can't really, it's like saying a lot of the new content of like Persona 5 Royal was at the end of the game because you had to play through the game first. So it's the same sort of like, it's the same sort of thing. And this definitely doesn't take anywhere near as long to play through as Persona 5. So, so yeah, it's that. Let us get into a little bit of news. So firstly, I want to run through the Pokemon Presents or Direct or whatever they call it, Pokemon Presents. They had, which was for Pokemon Day. So everyone knew there was obviously going to be something that was going to happen on Pokemon Day. Whether or not you were disappointed or not by this is going to vary on what you care about. Expectations as well. So I'll run through everything now and then we can sort of go back because there's not that much. And I don't feel like we're going to discuss everything. So they started with the Pokemon World Championships and announced that where it's going to be held. It's going to be held in Japan for the first time ever, which is like, how's it not been held in Japan before? Then they got Pokemon Trading Card Classic is a collection thing that's coming out. They showed a short teaser trailer for Netflix's Pokemon Concierge. Announced that Zacian is coming to Pokemon Unite. Pokemon Cafe Remix is adding a bunch of Pokemon. Pokemon Sleep officially got announced, and of course we'll be coming back to that in a moment. And then they announced the DLC or the 2 expansions that will be coming to Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, which are going to be spread out over the next, I don't know, it honestly seems like next 6 months, but they're coming out. They're both coming out this year, which is weird to me. But anyway, Ash. What stood out from all this to you, and what were your how do you feel about watching it? Like, do you think it was like an exciting Pokemon Day event or a bit of a
I mean, it was on at like midnight, so I mean, you know, not the optimal timing for a release, but yeah, I mean, it was what we kind of expected to be. The big thing was going to be the release of Violet and Scarlet DLC. Which they did. They also had some fun other announcements, some interesting stuff in there, like the classic trading card game set looks like something that will be worth money someday. So,
looks like something I want is what it looks like.
It looks like something I want. Yeah, I mean, fun stuff. Just the usual stuff. They like have all the new stuff for all their mobile games. Of course, adding Pokemon Sleep and then the Pokemon Go Plus. Oh, God love it. God loves Pokemon. You know.
Go Plus in 10 years from now.
Look forward to the Nintendo Switch Plus sometime in the future.
Kieran, what do you think of all this?
Look, it's a Pokemon showcase. I'm not that big of a Pokemon fan, so it blew over. I read through it the next morning. Yeah. There was one bit though that I was intrigued by.
Is it Pokemon plus?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I was wondering, right? Why isn't the Shield Pokemon being added to Pokemon Unite? It was just the Sword one, right? Like they knew the Shield one would be fucking terrible because it can't get through doorways because it has a shield in its chest. And they've got
There's
a sword.
no doors in Pokemon Unite.
Mate, there's a new doors map. And even if they could, you know what? It can't even get to the field because you can't get through the door to get to the field. You know, this is the whole thing. How do you reckon they get in there, Ash?
It's so skinny. It's,
Well, I mean,
comparative to other Pokemon, it's reasonably small. I'm pretty sure you'd get through whatever doorways they would have there.
I mean, the trainers are throwing the Pokeballs.
They're not going to give away the better of the two legendaries. Wait.
I feel like they're just
definitely going to put it behind a paywall.
They could have put both in there, right? Like they could have done both at the same time, but they're like,
the other argument is they're saving the better one for later.
Well, then no.
But to play a devil's advocate.
No, they're bringing people in with the sword one, and then eventually,
if you want the game, I guess it makes more sense. You do these basic attacks. You have this dumb dog swinging a head across.
I mean, you say dumb attacks. I'm watching this Pokemon Unite video going, that seems like a fucking massive AoE ability that Zacian has. Like, it's like hitting three
it looks
Pokemon
like you made Master Yi into a fucking dog Pokemon and just let go at it, son.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be zip zapping everywhere. Like, I don't... Look, they know where the bread is buttered. But everything else, I think, I've heard, I guess, maybe from people who care about it, the only thing I read online was people being fairly lukewarm on the presentation of the DLC for Scarlet and Violet. I think people were, I don't know, underwhelmed by it, or just were expecting maybe a bit more or a bit of a bigger presentation for the DLC. What did both of yours?
From memory, we got a deeper look, like a direct or something like closer to the release, which gave a bit more of a deep dive.
Yeah, the last
initial reveal was very like basic facts and like very much like the initial trailer for Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, so
and I will say for the second DLC, they never said anything about it other than the name up until very close to it releasing, and they released a trailer, and then everyone went, "Oh, that's what that's about." So like that's
fair enough.
So on the DLC, I think they both look really cool. I love, so in one of them, it basically seems like you're going to this. So how's it work? I can't remember what order it is. So the first one, you're like going to this other school.
No, that's the second
school
one.
trip.
Like
School trip.
Like a festival.
So first one's a school trip to his festival thing. I love the art. I love all the sort of the Japanese inspirations and stuff that you can see in the art behind everything that's happening here. And then the second one, you're going to a school.
Then you're going on exchange.
Exchange. I love this whole idea playing with this exchange and the school trip. I love the continued school themes and all that sort of stuff. I like how they said also. And again, they don't show a lot in this. It's just like a teaser trailer, announcement trailer for both these. But they did say that there's going to be a through line story for both these, which the DLCs for Sword and Shield didn't have. They were just two sort of random areas. They had a little story in each, but there was no like connecting
except
fabric
for the kid
any
with
of
the
them.
sword hair and the girl with the shield hair, whatever. Or was it
No, they weren't even in. They were just in the main. Like
they're in the main game.
Oh, well,
the first one was
the
first DLC was just like, hey, there's like a little cub Pokemon.
Sorry, you got to say it right. They're gonna be like, oi, Gov, there's this thing over here you can go and do, mate. Yeah, they tried to do
that guy.
English.
Yeah. But yeah, they said the first one's coming out fall, which is like what, October, like around that or whatever.
Yeah,
and then they said the second one,
October.
August through October, and then the second one they reckon comes out winter. So I was reading someone else's theory online, which I would probably agree with, which is potentially that because of the issues and stuff they were having with Scarlet and Violet out of the gate, and they've worked really hard to fix those. A recent update, they even like lowered the amount of Pokemon that spawn on screen so they can improve their frame rate, which is a hot topic of discussion among people of, hey, it decreases the chances of you being able to get shiny because there's now less Pokemon spawning on screen, to people also being like, I don't give a fuck, the game runs a lot better. Like there's this sort of this thing there. So people are saying that maybe they delayed the DLC because they wanted to get the base game just sort of a bit better before doing it. But because they're potentially now delaying part 1, it means that part 2 is probably going to come out just a couple months later, whereas there would have been a much bigger gap between the two of them. So either way, that's fine. I'm down to play both either way. So Flicking back through for a couple other things. Yeah, so the trading card game classic thing looks fucking awesome. It's going to be expensive as all fuck, but I definitely want it. Ash, what do you think of this Pokemon Concierge thing where it's a stop motion TV show taking place at a Pokemon resort? It's going to follow like the Pokemon visiting it. Apparently Psyduck's the main character. I don't know. What do you think of this one?
It could be interesting. You know, obviously it's going to be a series of shorts, so I don't think it's obviously going to be like probably like most 10, 15 minutes. Probably in the vein of something like maybe the I Am Groot shorts on all the Toy Story ones, or
they were really good.
All those over on Disney Plus. So yeah, they'll be fun in like little small doses. Yeah, I mean it's an interesting idea. You know, depending on what Pokemon we get to see, is there going to be a bunch of favorites? Of course, having Psyduck there is fun, and like it'll be interesting to see all the Pokemon in this art style. That'll be the key difference. But I do think this is a missed opportunity to like promote the anime that they've had for 25 years.
Coming to an end. Well, the Ash coming to an end.
The era is coming to an end.
Yeah.
They could have like teased what was coming next, or do some kind of a tribute video, or you know, something.
Haven't they already been, like,
guess what? You can
stuff?
watch all 25 seasons now on Netflix. Worldwide.
Sorry, what was that, Karen?
Haven't they already been teasing stuff about the final?
Oh, like it's about to air or is airing the last few episodes in Japan at the moment. I can't remember how it works out. The only reason I think maybe they didn't do it in something like this is because the releases are different. So like you'll have them come out in Japan and then there's that gap between then and when it's dubbed and released in America. So maybe that's why they didn't want to air, like because it's meant to be a worldwide thing. I don't know. Yeah. But let's talk about the main thing of the show, Pokemon Sleep. So this is something that they announced like ages ago as an idea. Now, I thought the trailer was at least adorable with these little Pokemon sleeping in your bed. The application itself and who it's for and why people play it is a whole different kettle of fish. But I thought the live action trailer and stuff with people falling asleep, waking up Pokemon, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute. But so honestly, it does seem like one of these things where they've invested a lot of time and effort into this, and they reached a point where there was no return. They're like, we're fucking committed now. Like we've got to make this a thing because we've really gone down the rabbit hole. So it's a game and a app in which I guess you would use it as your main alarm and everything like that. It will track your sleep and tell you if you slept good, if you sleep with your phone next to you or with the Pokemon.
Now, I don't understand. He puts it on his bedside table. How's this supposed to track how you're sleeping?
As long as it can listen to your breathing and stuff.
It has to listen
so
to your
it's
breathing.
Listening to you all night long?
Yep.
Yeah.
And like some of these apps, I don't know if this one will do it, but like some sleep apps will commonly like do recordings of you while you're sleeping to like
while you snore and stuff. Yeah.
While you
so
snore.
I have tried out some of these sleeping apps out of interest to see like how they work and stuff like that. And this doesn't seem that different other than Pokemon, like is tied into it.
You're not going to get people who want to play this to invest in like a smartwatch or something like that. Like even though it'd be really cool. Like I have a Google Pixel Watch. Like if they had like a version of this that you installed on the watch and stuff.
Well, it does make me wonder. Like
that would
like
be
make a watch app. Like make an app for the watch that.
Yeah.
So that we'll see if that ties in.
Even though like the Google, like I have the Fitbit software that already does that on the watch.
Yeah.
Just have a Pokemon version of that.
Or just read that
really
data.
Yeah.
And transfer that data into the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be really cute to have like a little when you go to sleep. There's like a little Snorlax sleeping on your watch or something, or a little like Pikachu or something. That'd be really cool. Yeah,
because as this is the thing I think with this for Pokemon Sleep. I want to know the amount of people, because by Ash's reaction, he's never tried or looked into any of these apps and has no care about like tracking his sleep or anything of interest, right?
No, I already know I don't get enough.
So there's going to be like a lot of people like Ash. Now, my question is, are those people who are more like actual Pokemon fans, like, Ash watches these, but he's not at home playing Pokemon games right all day. But the people who are at home playing Pokemon games all day, who don't already use these apps, are they going to then download this because it's Pokemon? That's going to be the tester.
I'd be interested. Sorry, go for it.
I was going to say, as someone like myself who's tried out these apps just out of interest and is a Pokemon fan, I'm easily going to at least give this a go just to try it out. Like, I'm not but I don't know, I don't know I don't know where they're making money from it. I don't know how, I don't know. That's the part where I'm confused.
It's not about making money. It's about doing good. That's what.
No, it's data collection. All it'll be, the way they would make money off this would be selling the sleep analysis data to.
Or they have like some sort of thing that you can get. You can catch 2 Pokemon if you watch an ad when you wake up, or if you buy a token or something.
It'd be like a really interesting tool to see if like parents use it for like helping.
That's what I'm
kids to
thinking.
sleep and
Yeah,
stuff
it's
like that. Like that'd be really.
Listen,
cool
you better go to sleep now, otherwise you're not going to get a good Pokemon.
I'm going to set this timer, and this timer is going to go up. The alarm's going to go off at 6:30. Got to be asleep all night in your own bed, or Snorlax is going to wake up and he's going to be grumpy and he's going to eat your kid.
I got to be completely honest, and this is one of those times where we got to take your hat off and like think about being a kid again and not like judge these things as we are now adults. If I was a kid, I would have been all over this. If my parents were like, if my parents were like, here's a game where you can like raise up a little Snorlax or like a Pokemon and you get them, you just got to go to sleep on time and sleep. I would have been all over this. 100% all over this. If I would have been even more so, Pokemon Go Plus, that little thing sleeping next to you where Pikachu's like, Pikachu, fucking Christmas present. Come on. That's it. I would have wanted it. I would have definitely wanted it.
You can only catch some Pokemon where you're taking a nap. So you want the kids to go to sleep. You want to catch Pokemon? Time to go to bed. Time to have a nap. Then you can drink. do your chores around the house while the kids napping to try and catch Pokemon.
I guess I don't know. It's a hard one because it's a hard thing to market and show or whatever. And it's a weird concept in itself. Like you just say the name Pokemon Sleep and everyone goes like, oh, dumb.
Because obviously there's the company that's built its recent years off Pokemon Go and being active, and now you want people to stay in bed.
Look, somebody at Nintendo is just like, okay, guys, we need to monopolize. Okay, we've already done their walking habits. They're like walking around in the real world. Okay, what else do they do that takes them away from playing our Pokemon game that we want them to do and still be playing our Pokemon game?
You need to monopolize this 8 hours of day.
Yeah, there's this 8 hours here. They're not doing shit for us.
We need to try and monetize that in some way.
So part of monetization, Pokemon Go Plus, right? So a new device. The second great name. The second that was sarcasm. The second official device that Pokemon's released that ties into Pokemon Go, but also of course this one ties into Pokemon Sleep as well. So you buy it. It costs $79.95 Australian dollars from EB Games is where you can pre-order it. It's a lot of money, obviously, for a little device like this. It's the price. It's more expensive than buying like the most recent Metroid game. It's more expensive than it's the same price as a Pokemon game itself. How you use it is for Pokemon Sleep. You can chuck it next to in your bed with you, in your pillow, whatever.
That thing is gone. If I put that in my, that thing's just gone. I've rolled over in my sleep. I've kicked it. I have punched it at some point. The amount of times I've
just strap it down.
I have like fallen asleep with like my phone, and I haven't plugged my phone in, and it's just been on the side of my bed. And I wake up in the morning, and I have to spend a good 2-3 minutes half asleep when I wake up looking for the fucking phone because I have no clue where.
You better be able to roll over and go, "Hey Pikachu, where are you?" And you see,
"Look, are you?"
So yeah, it ties into Pokemon Sleep, but it also ties into Pokemon Go. So you can, it's similar to other gotcha like devices where it'll spin stops for you while it's connected and all this stuff. But the big selling point for this one for hardcore Pokemon Go players is it'll throw great balls and ultra balls, whereas all the other devices at the moment, the automatic throwing is it'll only throw one Pokeball at a Pokemon.
Basic ass Pokeballs.
Bro, basic ass Pokeballs. That's right. So obviously I pre-ordered one because someone's got to be able to talk about this fucking thing.
Another paperweight for the shelf. Yep.
Yeah. So someone's got to be able to go on it. Now, I if I knew how to reach out to or who I should reach out to, I will try and get one. And cancel that.
Probably Nintendo.
Nintendo. No, I think I fucking don't know. But yeah, obviously I want to give it a go. I want to try Pokemon Sleep I feel like that'd be a fun thing to review. Like, I spent a week with Pokemon Sleep. Here's if I cared about the Pokemon or not, like that sort of thing. So, it was interesting to check Twitter, I guess, after, and you had people who've been like, I feel like you had a very sort of reaction of like, oh, that's sort of cute, but not for me to fucking these monsters. How dare they make me stay up to watch this and fucking Pokemon Sleep. Where's my remakes of Pokemon Emerald? So I sort of all over the place. So, interesting Pokemon showcase of it. That's for sure. All right, let's talk about the article that Ash has put in here. So, it's from Kotaku. It says games the IOC...
Change the article.
Can we play a game? Okay, can we play a game before you do? Okay, you have to read like the very first bit, but before it starts listing the game topics, I think we could turn this...
So I changed the article to one from Waypoint.
Okay, so fuck Kotaku is what you said. So we changed it to Waypoint. It says the list
I know Kieran's got a vendetta against Kotaku, so I mean, I changed...
The list of official Olympics esports games is extremely weird. Okay.
Do you want to guess?
Guess what the game... Even if we give you the type of game and you have to guess what game has been chosen to represent that.
All right, you read the article then, Ash, and you tell me when you want me to try and guess instead of me reading it. Do it that way.
All right.
Because I actually haven't looked at this yet.
On Wednesday, the International Olympics Committee announced that the Olympics will be holding an official esports series this year. Qualifiers have already begun and culminate in live in-person finals at the first ever Olympic Esports Week held in Singapore in late June. First glance, none of this is particularly surprising if you've been paying attention to the trajectory of esports in recent years. Esports have become increasingly popular and their inclusion in the Olympics has been debated for a while. However, the obscure assortment of games chosen for the events are mind-boggling to anyone familiar with esports, which is a space led by games like League of Legends or Call of Duty and Overwatch.
CSGO.
Pokemon
Go.
Apex.
You get in the early center. He was like,
So, do you want to guess what the...
Well, what are they in? They said they separated by first-person shooter. Like, what are they, fighting games? What's the...
I think there's the other one you had.
How are they doing it? Like, what's the... Is it just random games? What's the... Give me at least a hint. I just pull games out my ass.
They're sports games.
Sports. So, like, actual sports? So, FIFA.
Actual sports.
No, FIFA is not on the list.
Okay. AFL 23.
I wish. That'd be funny, though.
NBA.
No.
Skate.
No. That would be good position.
NBL.
No.
What other sport games do people play? Soccer, football, Sean White snowboarding.
There's one that's outlandish, but okay. One of the genres is racing, as in like motor racing.
Okay,
what is
motocross.
the game? What is the game that has been picked to display motor racing?
Motocross.
No.
Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Forza. Gran Turismo?
Gran Turismo.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
It's the most realistic.
That's the most realistic one and the most that makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah. I'm not that confused yet. All right,
so another sport that's been picked? Baseball.
Yeah. NBL, right? Or whatever it's called. Is that it? No? What's the
MLB The Show?
MLB The Show, that's it. Yep. Hit them up.
Yeah, no, that's not it.
Then what? There's no other game though, right? I thought that's just the one.
Do you remember that a few weeks ago there was that game that dropped on the Switch?
The $1.49.
Yeah, that's the official Olympic qualifying game. Yeah. So other sports include. There's no way you're going to guess any of the rest of these.
That's no shot.
I'm confused. Like, okay, continue. Sorry.
So you've got. They're doing archery.
Okay, Wii Sports.
No, it's a mobile game called Tic Tac Bow, which is a combination of archery and tic tac toe.
I wish this was a video podcast for this section.
What the fuck? Hold on. Hold on. Because a second ago you hit me with Gran Turismo, right?
Yep.
A sim.
Yeah.
Racing sim game.
Yeah.
Okay? So I thought they were taking it serious. Now you're telling me that we got Tic Tac Bow.
Yep.
Yes.
For a category about archery.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're doing chess.
Yeah.
Chess.com. Makes sense.
That one's a pretty
That's
straight-
the
one
one
makes
that is that the one all the streamers use?
Yeah, that's the main chess platform. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. Yeah.
So cycling is a sport, and it's Zwift, which it just looks like a Peloton. You know, people are doing it. It's racing on exercise bikes.
Yeah, you find.
I mean,
you're actually doing cycling at that point. Yep.
yeah, but I mean, it's a virtual
like
cycling, I guess, right?
no rain or like wind resistance. That's the main difference.
Yeah.
There's definitely no drag. You know, you can't utilize drag in any way.
Yeah.
Another sport included dance.
Yeah, Just Dance.
Just Dance.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Not specify what year.
True.
Platform.
2019 on the Wii.
Oh, we can only hope.
What is it?
No, they haven't.
No, there is literally.
Okay.
It's Just Dance.
It's just Dance. They haven't said which version.
Okay.
They haven't said anything.
Okay, so then they've got sailing,
Yeah.
which is done with a big sim
Legend of
called
Zelda
Virtual-
Wind Waker.
a sim game called Virtual Regatta, which is like pretty hardcore sim game. They've got Taekwondo.
Sifu.
No, it's again another hardcore sim called Virtual Taekwondo. And then they've got tennis.
Yeah. Mario.
No, if only. So reading again from the Vice article or Waypoint article. So Zwift and Virtual Regatta, virtual versions of cycling and sailing respectively, are relatively popular translations of their respective sports. The same cannot be said for Tennis Clash, a mobile game produced by Wildlife Studios, a massive mobile developer which has a reputation for intense pay-to-win microtransactions. Product reviews across various app stores cite sudden, unpredictable changes to game balance from update to update, which can be alleviated by spending more money on the game. The Olympics choosing to competitively legitimize the notoriously pay-to-win sports game, especially in the company of enthusiast products like Zwift, Virtual Regatta, and Virtual Taekwondo, feels like an extremely odd decision.
Are they sponsoring an event as well? Like, is that the...
I don't know.
By the way, I just looked up this Tic Tac Bow thing. Not on iOS.
Really?
Damn, got to be an Android user to go to the Olympics, obviously.
Yeah.
Literally.
You know, Apple's... So, yeah, this is a weird list of games. Especially I understand them wanting to get into esports and like trying to catch the crowd. But yeah, this is not it.
No, this is not it, Chief, as the kids say. I'm very confused. Gran Turismo makes sense. Just Dance makes sense. Nothing else. They're the only two that I would get behind.
I mean, the hardcore enthusiast ones, like the Taekwondo and the sailing, that makes sense. Because it is they're going for sports games. Yeah. They don't want League of Legends. They don't want Call of Duty. They don't want the eSports.
But here's the problem. They don't get it. Like straight away. Like that's they're like, let's have esports in the Olympics. And instead of grabbing all the actual esports games, the ones that people have been playing competitively for 10 plus years or whatever, like a fucking Super Smash Bros. Melee or something like that.
You don't think people have been playing Virtual Regatta for 10 plus years?
No, I don't.
Not with a large audience. Not with a large... The thing is, right, maybe... The only thing I'd be curious about is if the Olympics were worried about some kind of licensing issue, or if it was simply just the fact that they didn't want these types of things being involved in them, and they needed this is a sport to be involved to get it. I feel like licensing.
Is it because they're all incredibly violent games that we're talking?
Well, potentially.
Are they though?
But even like the
Isn't
League,
it?
even League, I wouldn't say League is violent. League's just like
It's
like
you're beating up a bunch of people, shooting people with guns.
it is.
PG.
Thing is, right? It is like cartoon, like it's just animated chess in a way. Like it is, like
Yeah, I don't know what you think those. I don't know what you think those chess pieces do, but when they bounce on top of one another,
They do not have
They
special
kill it.
moves in any way.
they kill it. They do have
They
special
do not
moves.
They do not pull off ultimates, you know.
Yes, they do. Have you
how
seen the
many
Queen?
chess
Have you
pieces
seen
can
it?
a horse take out?
Have you seen what happens to a pawn when it gets to the other side of the board? It could be fucking anything. It could just evolve on the spot. Anyway,
It
I don't know
rips
why
its
it could be
skin
anything.
apart, head to toe, and reforms itself
Like,
as a rook.
well, I don't know why you just always pick a queen, so I don't know
Okay.
why, but you know, it's
There's gonna
it's
be
strange.
one queen.
Pawn.
But then again, it's like, okay, why isn't there like, and even if you don't want to choose FIFA because of EA's FIFA problems at the moment, but also because of the licensing in FIFA, Pro Evolution Soccer or whatever that shit's called is still there, and that is not licensed whatsoever. Like, well, it's got some licensing, but not heaps. I feel like there could have been more of a attempt.
Or, listen, you've got a dedicated Olympics game that you release every 4 years. Just make it that.
Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
Or the other one. I would prefer Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. That would be fun.
It'd be fun.
It would be funny.
It's just a very strange situation for them where I get it. They are so fixated on it being a sport and the word sport being really important to like kind of justify its entry into the Olympics. And also I do get there is, say with games like League of Legends, the Olympic Committee would have to allow Riot to come in and run it as part of the Olympics, because Riot wouldn't be just handing it over and being like, sure, you guys could just run that. Riot would want some kind of hand in it, some kind of control over it. I
don't know how any of the sports commissions like work with the Olympics.
I don't think they do though. Like I think the Olympics just runs the game because nobody owns.
Like I'm trying to FIBA runs international basketball.
Yes, but
I'm
I don't
sure
think
they have a major stake in the Olympics.
I doubt it,
how
though,
it's
right?
run.
Because
I don't know. We're talking about
a sport's a sport.
I
right?
personally don't understand. So if they went to Riot and said, we want to put League of Legends in it, that's a massive platform for an esport.
Yes,
for Riot
but
and
then
League.
Riot turns around and goes, yes, we can, but we would like to run it and organize it ourselves in the middle of the Olympics. And I don't think the Olympics committee or the Olympics as a company would want that. They would be like, no, we'll run it ourselves.
We want advertisers and
I don't think
I don't know.
I don't think
know
it
if they would,
matters
though.
about. I think Riot would it's the same thing as why Riot's got to franchising and why all the comps in are like LCS and LEC and all the tournaments are Riot controlled. So many people have so many companies now in esports have centralized their esport so that they are the ones mainly controlling it. They'll sublet it out to broadcast companies to help them, but they are in control of it because of problems that do occur when they just let other organizers and other events use their IP and their game as a running platform.
I'm sure they would want to be involved, but I don't know if they'd want full control.
Also, it would be. I'd love to find out if they were to run a League of Legends. I'd love to find out a format because,
well, they'll run every other sport. They would do qualifiers to get.
They would do qualifiers, but are they going to do?
Is it international team? Would it be national teams?
It would be national teams.
It would be national teams.
Not the problem. That's not the problem. But are all the games best of one or are they best of three? Is it just where is that? Is it double elimination?
They would have to decide that. Yeah,
that kind of format is what I'm talking about. At the moment, there's this big thing about Valorant's just had its big world event that Riot's run for the first time in Brazil this month, but it was single elimination. So teams flew to Brazil to play one game of Valorant, and then if they lost, they were done. That was it. That's done.
That's not on. No. Any major tournament in my mind for stuff like that's best of 5 or best of 3 at minimum.
Well, best of 3s, or there's a group stage where you play everybody and you get the opportunity to work. You're
probably group. Like I'm trying to think of
like
a lot of the team sport ones. They do
groups,
like groups,
yeah,
tournament style,
groups into a round of 16 or whatever, and then you just. But then it's like, okay, is it single elimination? Then do you have winners bracket games?
Group stages is usually single.
No, it's just straight up winner take all.
Yeah. Well, group stages is not single elim. Like group stages is generally you play every team in your group once in a best of 2, and then whatever, and then you go from there. I don't know. It'd just be interesting to see how they formatted it, how they ran it, how long it took.
Interesting.
But hey, they're gonna have mobile phones to play tic-tac-toe. If you are
listening, is in.
If you're listening to this. We'll say this is a legitimate thing. I could highly guarantee the amount of people that are already really good at tic-tac-toe in Australia, very small. So if you don't have iOS, download that shit onto your Android right now, start fucking practicing. You could get yourself a ticket to the Olympics. You know, you could hook yourself up. Like just
you could do your country proud.
You could be wearing the green and gold at the Olympics. You could be walking out in the Olympic ceremony, fucking Samsung in hand, waving at the crowd, saying, "Hi, everyone."
Oh, man, can you imagine at the Olympics? Because I feel like they would, they don't know how to... No, they don't know how to take, screen share.
Oh, God.
So it's just a camera guy over your shoulder.
Oh, that'd be bad.
Watching your screen? Yeah.
That'd be bad. I did as a spectator. I don't know how watching, the cycling one is the weirdest one for me. Where I'm like, I don't understand how that's going to be fun to watch because
I don't understand how half the Olympics are fun to watch.
Well, no, the beautiful thing about the Olympics is you in a short amount of time you become an expert on meaningless one-time sports that you're never going to watch again for 4 years.
Look at this motherfucker with the shot put. Don't you know how to shot put, mate? I did that in high school better than you.
The amount of times you're just watching curling and you're like, sweep, just sweep. No, too much sweeping. And it's
overswept. They've overswept.
They've overswept. Exactly. He's burning out that one. But yeah, no.
Then you're watching someone cycle and you're like, oh.
Even then, right?
Not cycling very hard.
Why the fuck isn't Rocket League on there? It's fucking a sport and it's a motorsport. You get a bunch of and it looks really cool and it's really easy and really fun to watch. And it's I don't know. I wish they had gotten one of the big esports. Have all these fucking random tic-tac-toe fellas play that game.
They did get one of the biggest esports, chess.
I get chess is chess. That's
chess is chess.
It's funny that I don't think there's chess normal chess in the Olympics.
Here's my question: are they going to get the bunch of the chess masters and stuff? They're going to show up and
yeah.
They would have to
roll these people.
They're going to they still have to. I presume
they still have to qualify, but Magnus Carlsen, it'll be interesting to see who goes for America. I reckon
Ludwig should go.
Ludwig.
Yeah.
I think he's too busy been looking for his car the last couple of days.
No, they found it.
They did find it. They did indeed find it. I don't think so though. He's also just spent a lot of money on an esports team himself, so
true. What's with all these streamers becoming buying sports?
I think
Disguised
him and
Toast.
There's no money in streaming.
Him and Toast. Well, no. The thing is, there's too much money in streaming. They've made so much money. Toast is man, this is just Among Us money.
Yeah.
Pardon?
They just don't know what to do with their money. They're I'll just
it's not even don't know what to do with their money, but it's
what if I did something where I don't have to stream every single time?
Yeah.
I think for both Toast and Ludwig, it's okay, how much content do I get out of this investment, as well as on top of it'd be cool to support esports because they both really enjoyed the esport that they're wanting to get into. Both buying Valorant teams. They've both already got pre-built communities that they can kind of activate and put into as a supporting fan base.
Which is fair, because I get sick of saying, I don't want to name names because, well, actually I could. But there's some really big streamers and you'll see clips of them complaining about the quality of esports or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
And this is,
step up, my man.
And this is the investment. Like,
put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
Lud becoming like co-owner of Moist Esports, and then putting
Disguise
in
is disguised, right?
Disguise, which I'm like, that is such a dope team name, and the fact that they have all their like logos and stuff are in MS Paint because Toast is like the only employee, so he's running everything at the moment. It's fucking hilarious.
I was definitely a lot more I'm not big and I don't really watch Valorant, but I've always had paid a lot more attention to offline TV.
I've been watching,
it's basically a house of League of Legends people. So
I've been watching so much Valorant the last like month because of Lock-In and because of Disguised Toast team. Like, it's actually kind of funny. But yeah, no, it's esports as a general, and I think esports as a whole is an interesting one considering you've got teams and so like you got big multi-millionaires who have previously invested in it who are currently bailing out on their teams. You just had the Guard dump all of its employees and kind of just run for it, or Beyond the Summit, one of the biggest production companies for esports, has just had to let go all of its employees because it's just not viable anymore.
What I would also hope is, so all the old guard of esports owners and stuff have slowly, like, either we've known for ages that they were fuckheads, or like have like sort of become out that they were fuckheads. Like, there's that old guard mentality, especially because esports is still like a young sort of thing, whatever you want to call it. That a lot of the old people still had that bro culture, that frat culture, sort of like surrounding a lot of the teams and stuff. And at least as far as I'm aware, like it's hard to speak for people because you only see them online. I feel like for both, at least Ludwig and Disguised Toast, like running teams, I'm like, I don't really see like a frat boy bro culture.
No, I think
like coming from
Ludwig
either of them. So,
like I highly recommend if people just want like news and like want to keep up with things going on in the gaming community and just random stuff. Sure, you've got your other bigger ones, but like Ludwig's channel, Mogul Mail, is like a really good, really well. Like, he did a journalism degree in college anyway, so it's kind of his passion was journalism, so he does a lot of reporting. But I think, yeah, both of them coming at it, I think, Toast has been very forward with the fact that he's investing $1 million into this team in the first 2 years, and then we'll reevaluate and see how it's gone and what's going on with it, and kind of how he could proceed. And I know like Ludwig has a very forward-thinking approach to how he's going to monetize it and how he's going to make it profitable for himself and his players. If you look at Ludwig's brand, he is a content creator, sure, but he has a bidet company that he sells swipe bidets, and that's actually done really well. He's invested in his production company. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's Off-Brand is like kind of as a production company for streamers and content creators. He's got Mogul Moves, which he does all of his merch drops for himself as well as a whole bunch of other content creators. Like, you look at the esports scene now, and it isn't just you at your core you have your esports teams, but it's how you build an infrastructure around them to support it. So 100 Thieves, it's been really interesting. There's a podcast recently released on the 100 Thieves channel for Nadeshot talking about the recent release of Juvie and how they've used that energy drink to provide further financial support to 100 Thieves as a company, and kind of including everybody and involving everybody in that environment. Because, they had layoffs this past year, but he wants to build an environment where he can employ these people without having to worry about being at the whim of an esports or being at the problem that esports are currently facing, where they're just not getting the revenue and not getting the turnover directly from their esports teams.
I definitely feel like some of these people investing more in something that's good for the gaming industry, even if you don't care about esports, is better than just saving their millions for, I'll just save all my money. Like, no offense to XQC, but my dude just is hoarding money so that if he ever like becomes irrelevant, like he could probably just live off his money for the rest of his life. He would be that rich. So, but like, what's he do with his money other than buy McDonald's and live in filth below him? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely a difference.
I will say, XQC, I feel, doesn't invest in his environment in terms of like where he lives, and does live in fucking
and he buys cars he can't drive. Cool story.
Squatters, and he buys cars he can't drive. That's a whole thing. I'm not getting into his marital drama that's going on, but like, He does move house regularly because of all the problems that he has with people finding his house and swatting him and all the other
yeah, which
problems.
obviously isn't good, but I'm also like, just in comparison, some of these people I know, it just I can't even like blame them. It is like you never know when your 10 seconds of fame is going to end, I guess. But it is also, I quite often think with a lot of big content creators and streamers, because they're also so young, they get so old as money, and I'm like, do you know what you should be doing with that? Like what you should be investing it in? Like what you should, you know what I mean? It's just like, it is that.
It's a whole nother thing. And like, I guess, not to make this a Ludwig appreciation segment of the podcast, but like,
it's already become that apparently.
It's already become that. But Kai Cenat is recently this week overcome his, become like the most subscribed person on Twitch ever. Crossing that 300,000 subscribers mark, which Ludwig did with his subathon last time, and he surpassed that. But the funny thing is that, and I don't know this for certain with Kai's, I haven't looked into it too much, Ludwig was always very forward-facing with how much money his subathon made, and the money he paid to his moderators for all the work they did. As well, on top of that, he put a good portion of that money from the subathon went directly to charities, and he was very open and honest and very forward with that money. Whereas, you've got Kai Cenat, who I don't know what he's doing with the subathon money, and it's like he's already doing well. So that subathon is that purely money for him, and what is he going to do? I think in some ways,
Kai, I know he has people on like his channel that I don't.
Yes, there is.
I'm not down with
streaming in general is in a very scary place at the moment with the rise of Kick.com. And everything that's bringing on, and the fucking Aiden Ross is a whole.
Since we got down this road for a whole 2 seconds, and we're sort of off video games.
Yep.
Do you know about this whole Kick thing, Ash? Are you up to date?
That's where all the shitty people are going, right?
Yeah, so pretty much.
For people listening, so someone started another streaming thing called Kick, and a lot of the big streamers,
backed by Stake.com, the gambling company.
Yeah, back way, and basically all the streamers I personally wouldn't watch are moving there. A lot of shitty ones, and I find it very fucking weird that a lot of their selling points is that they can they're like, fuck Twitch, I can do whatever I want here. Like the big thing that first week was stream the Super Bowl. I'm like, yeah, but like that's not a Twitch thing. It's a Super Bowl. Like they've got a copyright. It's a Twitch. Yeah. Like the Twitch doesn't want you streaming the Super Bowl because you're not going to get in trouble. Twitch gets in trouble because they're the company that's allowing you to do that. So they get charged or whatever, attacked by the Super Bowl, like that, whatever the company LLC is by them. Like I'm like all these people. Like I seriously think a lot of them are they try and talk like super smart and whatever. Like I'm just call that like Aiden Ross, right? The dude just talks all day. The fucking likes to talk. People obviously think he's like super, like think he's smarter than what he is. But I'm like, like the simplest things. I'm like, do you just not understand how like copyright looks? And like to be like, I can go to Kick and do whatever I want. It's like, yeah, I guess until something comes, until someone comes for you, like.
Well,
or comes for a
happened.
Kick, like and sues.
People already got copyright striked and banned on Kick for streaming the Super Bowl, and like things like streaming the recent Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury fight.
The fight, yeah, which is all copyrighted. Like it's nothing to do with the streaming service. It's the
the spokesperson at the moment for Kick.com is Trainwrecks TV, who was the kind of, I don't know what his actual role is.
He's a big gambling streamer, another really outspoken sort of alpha male type.
He's kind of led the charge with it because Kick has a 95% split with streamers. That any money they make on Kick, they get 95% compared to Twitch, which is at best 50-50. YouTube's at best, I think, is 60-40 or 70-30.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they're trying to push the charge there. Train at the same time has been like, even though he started on the road of, hey, we can pretty much be much wider, blah, 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 he's still been like, wait, there is a TOS still. There's still a term of service that's going on.
Which they've been making up as they're going along.
Very much making up as they're going on. You know, you've got Aiden Ross jumping over and watching porn on Kick.
Which was a whole thing because people like, again, I just don't think he gets it is the thing. And because people have rightfully said, like, he just doesn't get that kids are watching. Like he's then showing porn to kids.
It's not even that he doesn't get it. He is all on that Andrew Tate train. He is on that alpha male train. He's direct quotes of people won't get banned if they have like if they have pronouns in their profile and they've dyed their hair blue. And he says a whole bunch of disgusting, toxic shit like that.
I know there's a thing that's been going around Twitter the last 24 hours of him like getting that kid to like attack or punch his sister's wall or whatever because they were a fan of Hassan or
yeah
that was a whole thing I saw. So
yeah, and it's gross. So I think the streaming space in general and like kind of Twitch as a whole and just streaming in general, you know, I don't love the world that has, you know, your Aiden Rosses, like they call it the W streamer community. Like there's just a lot of very strange things happening right now that it just doesn't feel like a welcoming place a lot of the time. It feels like a very strange communities. Yeah, it's not the world of streaming and esports that I grew up to love. Really,
it's very odd. Definitely very, very odd. And I personally don't see kick lasting. There's no way. No. Like each week, each day, nearly there's something else. Like Aiden Ross streams porn to potentially like minors, you know, and then it's like the streaming all the copyright stuff, and then there's him like that thing with the other like having that kid on stream like punch a wall on his sister's door. Yeah. Like it's just like I'm like this only goes so far, and I know that they think that they're like untouchable, I guess, but it is that element of it's no different to the people who have usernames and comment sections being mean to people in YouTube comments. Like that, the anonymity thing, like the internet's different to, anonymity to real life. So it's that whole, like they're doing all this stuff and being like, yeah, but it's online, so this stuff doesn't matter. I definitely feel like Kick's going to reach a stage where there's like definitely legal ramifications for what's going on over
there. The whole in general is like, I can't remember where I was either reading or listening to this, but talking about a teacher's perspective, talking about how teachers are starting to hear about Andrew Tate. No, it was on Twitter. No, I remember. Yeah, no. It was talking about kids talking about Andrew Tate in like classrooms in high school and like people looking up to Andrew Tate in these kind of impressionable years. And that to me is fucking scary. That is so goddamn scary. And I hope to God those teachers can help kids steer away from that and steer in the right direction, because I don't want more, especially men in this world who believe they are the center of attention. They can treat women like property and treat them so poorly and shit. I don't want people thinking that it's okay to be a shitty human being and be selfish and be fucking horrible. And it's these people like Andrew Tate, Aiden Ross, like Trainwrecks, like XUC in many ways. They're so much more accessible for young people nowadays compared to, your celebrities. These people are online and live for 10, 15, in XUC's case, 20 hours a day sometimes.
Yeah. And a day, every day, and talking and every thought to 12-year-olds. Like
100%. And it is a scary environment that we currently live in terms of that kind of stuff.
Let's talk about one last thing before we wrap up this week. I want to get a Like a Dragon Ishin update from Ash, because last week he had only played, I think, a few hours at the time. And we talked about it, and obviously he said it was really good and he was enjoying it. And we got the basic setup for the game and everything. Asked him briefly about it the other day, and he was saying some wild stuff about where he's up to and how the story is progressing now. So do you want to give a week 2 update on Like a Dragon Ishin?
Week 2 update. So I've joined the Shinjitsu? I can't remember the exact name of it. It's like, so there's a lot of Japanese history in this game. And it seems like there's the emperor and the people who are loyal to the emperor, and then there's the shogun, who's the head of the military, and there's all the people who love loyal to the shogun. And it seems at the moment the shogun is running the show at the moment. Is the most powerful in the timeline of the game. So you join one of the lower affiliates of the shogun, despite your family being from a line of loyalists to the emperor. So you join the enemy so you can find the killer who killed your adoptive father. I'm enjoying it very much. So that's the idea. You join and you become the captain of the third army of whatever. So you get that's where the trooper thing comes in, where it's got all the celebrity card things.
So you've got up to that.
I've gotten up to that.
Do you have Kenny yet?
I do have Kenny.
Oh, yes.
It's they just give you some buffs.
Who else is in it? Austin Creed, was that the other?
No, it's Rahul Cooley.
Oh, Rahul Cooley.
Yeah.
And then it's like a bunch of like other people
WWE
that have no idea.
Yeah, no, it's Rahul Kohli, which is a very weird.
Dude's a gamer.
Dude is a
big
gamer.
He loves his like a dragons. So yeah, there's the whole card. Yeah, it's very like you have squads, and they give you buffs during matches or fights, and then if you win the fights, you can go an XP for these troopers who then give you bigger buffs later. I don't know if it's because I got like the special edition or whatever, but like all the Kenny and the Rahul Kohli stuff, they're like fully maxed up experience wise.
I'm gonna assume that's part of some code thing.
Probably. So I mean that takes a little bit of the fun out of it, but it's pretty cool, I guess. Kenny's move is like a one-winged. It's called the one-winged angel, but it's just like a massive slashing move, which I guess fits like the Sephiroth theme. Yeah.
Sephiroth.
But like any Yakuza game, this game has like a bunch of
mini games,
crazy sub-stories.
Sub-story.
There is this lady in a section of town. Her name is Sexy Madam. She wants you to bring vegetables to her. She starts off with cucumber. She wants a carrot. Wants an eggplant.
What's she doing?
These are very phallic type vegetables so far.
What?
She's very excited every time you bring her a vegetable. And as soon as you bring it to her, she runs off. She's very lonely because her husband's been away in the war.
Okay,
the vegetables you keep bringing her make her very excited. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Interesting on plot. There's all sorts of craziness. There was a section where in the shady part of town, someone is selling perfume. So this lady wanted
very, very shady.
Wanted you to get perfume. So you go get it, and the guy who's selling it, it's like the thing about this perfume is it brainwashes men into loving whoever wears it.
It's a love potion.
Love potion. So you test it with the seller, and the seller is like really in love with you, doing a lot of like graphic.
On the seller though, that's.
He's doing a lot of graphic hip thrusts, and then he proceeds to chase you through town, and you have to run away from him. Good times.
Oh, yeah. Yakuza. It's this kind of stuff I've always been like morbidly curious about Yakuza games. I remember like flicking on somebody's stream. I can't remember if it was like Moon or Moist Critical, and he was doing a side quest for someone, and he walked into this room, and it was filled with like middle-aged Japanese men dressed as babies, crawling around and pretending to be babies.
That was great.
I remember that and being like,
not this Like a Dragon, the last Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
The Like a Dragon,
not the Ishin.
Yeah. That was a great mission, and then you unlock the baby
as like a summon, right? Like
as a summon, yeah. But in this, I had a submission where you get invited to like check out a brothel. So I'm like, oh, why not? My dude, he's a lonely dude, hasn't had any company for a while.
Why are you RPing?
He hasn't been like, okay, I'll be nice to this guy, give him some, let him walk through his establishment, and then it turns out it's a scam. It's a bunch of sumo wrestlers. They're the escorts. And then they go upset because you don't want to pay, so then you have to get into a fight with a bunch of sumo wrestlers. Good times.
One thing I don't think I asked this last week, but because obviously, Like a Dragon 8 or Yakuza 8 or whatever, Like a Dragon, that was your first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had not played it.
No, before that, yeah. So how weird is it going from the RPG stuff as the first one you played to now one of the more typical Yakuza games where it's all action-based combat?
I mean, it still feels very similar actually, because everything, it's like the game very much stops and then you go into an action sequence.
Or there's like invisible walls and everything, right?
It's like there's like you
like
go
an
into a
arena.
combat encounter.
Yeah, there's an arena.
Yeah,
right, that
it's
you
like a
fight
wall.
in.
Yeah, it's not like call it like a Grand Theft Auto where you run around and stuff.
Punch anyone and do whatever you want. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'm enjoying the story unraveling and it's kind of the mystery, and you're trying to figure out just weird stuff keeps happening to you. It's crazy, you know. And you can collect animals, you know. I just got a cat on my farm now because I kept cleaning
Your
it.
Farm?
So you become friends with this priest, and he's trying to help this young woman whose parents died, and she had the landlord is trying to force her to sell her house. So you offer to pay for the house as long as you can stay there.
You get a farm.
You get a farm, so you get crops.
Okay.
You can get chicken coop, and then you can if you build up a friendship bond with these animals enough by doing different things, like there's a cat that keeps falling into the water and becomes super dirty, so you can just keep taking the bath after cleaning it, and then eventually you take it home, and it lives at your house, I guess.
There's a wild.
Very Japanese.
What's your the other thing before we wrap up today? Last week when we talked about it, you were saying it's sort of like not that you disliked it, but it was just odd because you hadn't played a game like that before. But the whole having to read subtitles because it's all in Japanese. Do you reckon that has very much reached a point now? Because you're obviously describing all these things in heavy detail, like you're heavily invested in the narrative and everything. So it's not bothering you now. I take it it's not a
no. It's just it's a lot of the like random stuff that people would say.
It's the background stuff you can't
That's the
hear.
stuff you kind of miss, like especially at the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you get into it, it's like
I don't feel like that's any different to like anime in general, because there's always those little lines in a dub that you'll pick up in the background, but you'll miss in a sub, but you just accept. It's the same sort of thing, I guess. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And there's also the element of you have to pay attention during cutscenes and that kind of stuff. You can't quickly check Twitter.
You can't open Twitter and got to get off your phone. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's helping you pay more attention to the game.
Possibly. Or you just miss it and you check Twitter anyway. You're like, I'll figure this out from context clues.
All right. That'll do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. It was a wild one. I didn't think we had much, and then we went down a whole separate rabbit hole there.
Because the Olympics is fucked.
It's all because of the Olympics. So went there. Let's know any comments, questions, concerns, or thoughts on anything we discussed this week, either by tweeting at us explosionnetwork.com/Twitter or joining our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. If you liked the episode or want to support explosionnetwork.com at all, you can do that by going to explosionnetwork.com/support. And next week, same time, same couch. Goodbye.
Hey, do you want to tell people you're going to be at the Game Expo this week?
I'll be at the Game Expo this week. Kieran will be there Saturday, I believe. If you see me, say hi.
Give us the money for our Ko-fi,
you can give me dollar bills in person.
We'll also, if you come down to section 8C of the Melbourne Exhibition Centre, we will be running the Olympic qualifiers for Australia's tic-tac-bow team. So come check us out. Show us the app on your phone. Give us a whirl. We'll give you a rating.
Show us your scores.
Show us your scores, and we will put you forward if you are deemed successful for the Australian Olympic team.
Everything Kieran just said is not actually true. We will be at the show, but we will not be conducting any Olympic qualifiers.
We have no affiliation with the Olympics.
It's losing at that. That's pretty good, right? I feel like that's pretty good.
Getting ready for when we do ad reads.